Hello students, good day to all. Welcome to this lecture on unit number 5. The unit number 5 will be having the topics of microcontroller programming and its applications. So in this unit we will be having four main topics. So in this particular topic we are going to cover the interfacing keyboard and the display with the 8051. So here we are going to see about the interfacing of keyboard and the display. In case of keyboard, the keys are going to be considered as a simple push key. So here push key has been given here. Since this push key, whenever it is pressing, it will be generating an electrical signal, so that have to be captured by the microprocessor. So when the key is pressed, a transient is produced. So the transient can be modeled like this in this figure. So from the transition from the logic 1 to logic 0, or from the logic 0 to logic 1, these transitions are going to be happen. But the microprocessor need to have a selection that the steady signal have to be the output for the microprocessor. So that have to be done by taking the key debouncing. So what does it means is the processor needs to wait for the steady state for upon the pressing of the key. So that can be done by waiting for some time. So the processor needs to wait for some time. So that waiting can be modeled by an either by an hardware or an as from the software. So the hardware model has been given here. Here SR flip-flop is used. So when the key is in between A and B, so if the key is not pressed in correct manner, then the key may be in between A and B, so the output doesn't change. So this no change have to be marked as an invalid. So that is going to be marked as the output doesn't going to be changed. So whenever the input is not been given, the output is not going to be changed, means we can use that to be modeled by an SR flip-flop. So the SR flip-flop has been given here. So the SR flip-flop will be supplied from single supply that is being supplied the two inputs of the inputs of two NAND gates to be supplied with the help of the pull-up resistors. So with the help of this pull-up resistors, we can give the inputs. So the SR flip-flop will keeping that the debouncing circuit doesn't change its output whenever there is no change in the key pressing. So this key bouncing can be modeled from the help of software also. So here we will be having the software have to read the status of the keys. If the keys are open, then it have to wait for some key debounce timing. So that timing is going to be normally taken as 10 milliseconds. So it is going to wait. So if that particular key is not pressed, so also that is going to loop from to read the status of the particular keypad. So if it is going to be pressed, means, so if the key is been pressed, then the software have to wait for another 10 milliseconds to read the information from the keyboard. So if after waiting for the first key debounce period, if the key is not pressed, so that particular software will going to go for the reading of the status of the key. So first it will be checking whether the key is been open or not. If the key is been open means it will be waiting for some 10 millisecond. So if the key it waits for whether the key is going to be pressed or not. So if the key is pressed, then it will be going to read that particular data. If still it is not been pressed, then it will go for the waiting status. Okay, so it will be going for reading status of the key. So this is the logic behind this key debounce, because first it will be going to wait for 10 millisecond for getting the key data. If the key data is not available in the first 10 millisecond also, then it will be going for the reading of the status of the keys. If the data has been available, then it will be waiting for another 10 millisecond for processing of the data. So that is the main main logic behind this debouncing, key debouncing. So here we are having a practical circuit where the 8051 port 1 is connected with the keys. So here the 8 keys are been connected with the 8 port pins of the port 1 of the 8051. So here the VCC supply is being supplied to these keys with the help of pull-up resistors. So what this program is going to do is it will be going to check with the status of the keys first. If the key is been open, then it will be waiting for 10 millisecond. If the key is not open, then the read status will be maintained. So the key is been closed now means it will be going to wait for another some time and reading the key data. So if the key still it is not been pressed means it will be going for reading status of the keys. So that is going to be programmed in this particular program. So here you can notice that first P1, the status of the P1 will be transferred to the EA register. So here it will be checking whether the key is been open or not. So by checking with the FF, so if any key is been pressed with that particular board means, then it will be given by the comparing of the A and this particular FF. So if by comparing these two, then we will be getting whether a particular key is open or not. So if the key is open, then then it will be going for the reading status again. So if it is not open means if it is going to close means it will be going for calling of the debounce delay. So if this delay is going to be programmed for 10 milliseconds, so that program we can write as our own. So if after that it will be checking for the whether the key is been closed or not. So that is going to be checked by again it is going to get the data from the port number 1. So that data is going to be transferred to the accumulator. Again the checking will be done with the FF to the data of data in the accumulator. So if this 2 is going to be compared, when this comparison is going to give a null negative answer, then it will be going for the, again it is going to check for the particular key is being pressed or not. If it is not, if it is pressed means if it is not pressed, then it will be going for the checking of the key is pressed. So if it is pressed means it will be coming for the taking the data. So taking the data is going to be done by the help of done by after getting the delay. So we will be calling the delay, and the particular data is stored in the particular P1 port register that is going to be transferred to the accumulator. So the accumulator will be having the data of what key is being pressed. So by checking the data, we can know what key is going to be pressed with the help of this particular table. So if the key first is going to be pressed, then D0 is going to be 0, others are going to be 1. So I can say it is F7. So here FF is going to be set as an benchmark data for checking the whether the key is been open or not. So this data is going to be equivalent for all ones in this particular table. So that is going to be a benchmark data. So other data are going to be have the data for the particular key pressed. So here another example of matrix keyboard is being used here. So why we are going for matrix keyboard means in practical usage of the keyboards we will be using the matrix keyboards only, because while we are programming for the keys, if the keys are being used as we have seen here, then many port pins are required. So if you require 16 keys in a particular keyboard, then we need to have 16 port pins. So that is not practically available. We will be having the practical availability of 8 port pins only. So in order to reduce the required pins and the usage of the more keys, we are going for the matrix keyboard. So this is the matrix keyboard where we will be having 0 to 9 numbers, and A to F A to F letters. So that and all can be get into this particular matrix keyboard. This matrix keyboard is going to be connected with the two port pins of this particular keyboard. We will be having 4 pins for this particular row, and for the columns we will be having the 4 pins. The column pins are going to be used as a scan lines for the particular keyboard. So this scan lines are going to be grounded, or it is going to be connected to the 0. So these 4 lines are going to be connected with the VCC pin, and this supply is going to be supplied to this particular keyboard with the help of pull-up resistors. So these 4 lines are going to be connected to the port 1 in this particular keyboard. So now we are going to use only 4 pins in this particular port number 1, and also these pins are going to be used as inputs. So we are going to write ones for this particular keys. So we will be having 0F as the data for this particular port number 1. So that is going to be a initial data which is going to be available for this particular reading of this keyboard. So while reading this keyboard, we need to check whether the key is being released. As we have seen here, first we have to check whether the key is being released or not. So that is going to be checked. If it is going to be yes, then it is going to have call the debounce delay. So that is going to be for step number 3. If it is not, means it will be going for the checking of the again it is going for the checking. So if the debounce delay has been called, then it will be waiting for the key closer. While key closer, the scan lines are going to be supplied with 0. So if the scan lines are going to be supplied with 0, then we will be having the data of 7F for this particular keys, because whatever the row is, whatever the column is going to be selected, that is going to be selected by appropriate column. So for that column we will be going to supply the 0 for this particular column. So if I am going to select 0 means I am going to supply the 0 for this particular column, and I am going to select with the port number 1. So port number 1.0. So if I am giving, then 0 pin will be selected. So if I am going to select D pin means I am going to supply 0 for this P1.7, and if I am going to select P1.1, then I will be selected with the D. So that is the logic behind this particular Matrix keyboard interfacing. So after checking the key closer, and after checking the corresponding scan line with the by writing 0, then I am going to check whether the key is pressed or not. So if it is no, then step number 4 will be followed. If it is going to be yes, then step number 5 will be followed. Step number 5 will be calling of debounce delay. If the step number 6 is if the step number 5 is being executed, that is the calling of the debounce delay is executed, then this step number 6 will be followed. If the key is really pressed, then we will be going for the step number 7. If it is not, then we will be going again for checking for the key closer. So in this step number 7 we will be getting the key code. So whatever may be the key the input given for the scan line, and output getting in the particular written lines of the port number 1 to 1.0 to 1.3, we will be getting that particular data, and we will be getting the output to the particular microprocessor. So that is been given in this particular program. So here we are going to have a lookup table. So the lookup table will be giving the address for the data values for the keys whichever we are that is available here. So we are having 0 to 9 numbers, and A to F letters. So 30 will be for 0, and 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, and this is A, B, C, D, E, and F. So these are all the corresponding data for the particular keys that is going to be used. So we are going to configure the port 1 for the input, that is the port 1 is going to be configured as an input. So if it is going to be input, then the P1 1.0 to P1.3 is going to be filled with ones. So if those pins are going to be filled with ones, then the input data have to be given as 0F. So we will be initializing the DPTR with the lookup table addresses. So here the address of the particular lookup table address will be given to the DPTR. Again we are going to check whether the key is being released or not. So by making the benchmark data of 0F, so if that particular data is going to be ANDed with the data which is given in this particular P1, that is going to be ANDed, and if the AND address is going to be giving 0, that is it is going to be not equal to the data which is available in the port 1, then the particular key is not released. So it is again going to be checking with the particular key bouncing. So if the key is released means, then we will be going for the delay. So that delay is going to be programmed for 10 milliseconds. Again the key is going to be checked with the same logic. So if the key is being pressed, again the delay is going to be activated. Again the delay is being activated. Again the key is being checked with whether the key is really pressed or not. So after checking that particular checking also, we will be going for reading the data. So the reading of the data is going to be available by initializing first the counter. So the counter is going to be initialized by the R1, which is going to be equal to 01. R0 is going to be equal to the store word for the column selection. So the column selection is going to be, first data is going to be 0 EF. So if it is going to be EF means, then we will be having 0 1 1 1 and all ones for the last nibble. So that particular data is going to be the input for the particular first column. So the first column is being selected. So afterwards, that is we are going to give 0 for this particular uh, particular column. So by giving that particular column data as 0, then we will be checking whether the particular column is going to be selected or not. So selecting only the first column, we are going to have that particular data to be written to the port number 1. So the port number 1 will be transferred to the accumulator. Then we are going to check whether the bit is 0 or not. So if we are checking that particular bit, if that bit is going to be selected, that is selected, then we will be having 0 on that particular bit. So if that is going to be selected, then the particular lookup table address is going to be selected by checking whether the particular bit has been selected or not. So that is been selected in this particular steps. If the particular bit is not been selected, then we will be going for the incrementing of the dptr. So if that particular data is not been selected also, then we will be having the loop is going to be executed again and again. So whenever the R3 data is not been selected, so R3 is going to be decremented. So by decrementing that particular R3 for the 4 consequent execution of the loops, then we will be checking all the 4 columns of that particular key. So by checking the 4 columns, eventually by checking for the each and every port number 1 pins, then we will be getting the keys are being scanned, and whether we are getting the correct scanning of the particular key press. So that is the logic behind this particular program. Next we are going to see about the logic behind the 7-segment LED. So 7-segment LED LEDs that are going to be connected whether as common anode or as a common cathode. If the cathodes are going to be connected along the way for the ground, and whenever the anodes are going to be as an input, then that is going to be common cathode. If the cathodes are being shorted and going to be given to the supply, and the anodes are going to the cathodes are going to be in supply, then we will be having that is a common anode. Suppose these are all the bits, that is bit configurations that are going to be used in this 7-segment display. So the shaded ones are the particular bits that are going to be represented for the each and every bits that are going to be displayed. So it is for 0. So for the 0, we need to turn on that particular LED. So A, B, C, D, E, F LEDs are going to be on. So depending upon the particular type of the 7-segment LED configuration, that input have to be given as follows. So suppose to display the 3, we need to have the A, B, G, C, D have to be on. So we will be supplying 1111001 for the common cathode type, because common cathode type will be having the particular n terminal of the particular LEDs are going to be shorted to the ground. So whenever we are giving 1, for this particular inputs, then we will be having the corresponding LED is going to be getting on. So for that only we are going to supply A, B, C, D as a ones, and E, F will be supplied with 0, and G will be 1. So by checking this particular diagram also, we can be concluded with this particular output. So whether if it is going to be used as a common anode, then we will be inverting this particular input. So 0 0 0 1 1 0 will be the input that we need to give for the common anode type. So driving a single resistor by this particular arrangement of the 7 segment LEDs, that is enough, because by giving the 5 volt input, and if you subtract that particular drop of the particular LED as 1.5 volt, then we will be having the rest of the voltage will be sufficient for making the current flow inside the LED. So the current may be regarded as 500 milliampere or to 300 milliampere. So regarding that particular current, if we are applying 220 ohm or a 250 ohm resistor, then it is okay for a particular single or two LED segments. So driving a single resistor is single LEDs with a resistor is okay. That is not a problem. When considering 7 segments are 7 segments are going to be used for the 8 digits means, then the worst case of 15 milliampere per segment leads to give 15 milliampere into 7 segments into 8 digits means we will be getting 840 milliamperes. So this 840 milliamperes have to be supplied by the supply. But if you are supplying this particular current means, then we will be having the heavy loss in that particular resistor. So that is going to lead heating in the particular circuit. So that is going to be avoided by using BC to the 7 segment decoder IC, that is IC7447. So that is going to be a IC which is going to get 4 inputs and 8 outputs, as we have seen in this particular diagram, and we will be supplying with VCC and the ground. If that particular IC is going to be connected to the 7 segment with the help of resistors, then the power consumption and the other current driving capabilities are going to be supplied with this particular decoder. So the resistors are not going to be loaded at anymore. So this particular type of arrangement are going to help with the power consumption problems also. So here we have been given with a 7 segment multiplexer display interface circuit. So here we are having 8 7 segment displays. So these 8 7 segment displays are going to be have different inputs, so that different inputs are going to be supplied with the transistor arrangement. So this transistor arrangement is going to be supplied with the 8051. So the port number 1 is going to be connected with the A to G pins of the particular 7 segment displays with the help of these transistors, and the scanning parts of this particular 7 segment LEDs are going to be connected with the same transistors with the 5 volt supply for the base of these transistors, and that are going to be supplied with the port number 3 of the particular interface circuit. So in this particular arrangement, we will be having the port 1 and port 3 as an output ports. The port number 1 is going to be used for selecting the data input, and port number 3 is being used for selection of the display position, because we are going to have the rolling display of this particular 7 segment LED segments of 8 7 segment displays. So in order to use that particular rolling display, we need to select the particular display for a while, and the next have to be selected and next have to be selected, so that the display will be rolling by the giving the inputs of the uh, displays, which as we have seen with the common cathode or the common anode arrangement. So the port A will be given as a data input, and port 3 will be for the selection of the display position for the rolling display arrangement. So due to the usage of the transistors, we can display the hexadecimal characters also in this particular uh, moving display 7 segment multiplex display interfacing circuit. So here as a program, first we are going to initialize the counter. So the counter has been given with given with a number of 8. So this 8 is going to be given as a benchmark number, since we are having 8 7 segment displays. So that's why we are having 8 number here. So here 7F is been given. So if it is going to be 7F, then 0 1 1 1 and 1 1 1 1 will be the binary replacement of this particular hexadecimal number. So if it is going to be the case, then this particular number is going to be used for the selection of the particular 7 segment display LED arrangement. So first this particular LED is going to be selected, this particular segment is going to be selected, then we will be rotating that particular number to the right. So the 0 will be rotated. So first the first 0 has been available as the D7th bit of this particular number. If we are going to rotate that particular bit, then it will be shifting to the D6 of the particular number. Then the next LED segment is going to be selected. So upon rotating right, so we will be selecting the each and every bits of this particular arrangement. So by making this particular arrangement, we are going to set with that particular arrangement. So here the 6000 is going to be used as an address for the data which is going to be displayed as a rolling display in this particular arrangement. So the data which is been required is going to be stored in this particular address. So by giving this particular address to this DPTR, we will be getting the data from this particular locations. So first we are going to select first digit. So that has been selected by giving R1 to the P3, because this third port is going to be supplied with this particular transistor arrangement, and that particular transistor is going to be on wherever this particular display is needed. So that is going to give that is this program step is going to select the first LED segment of this particular array, and here the DPTR content is going to be supplied with the particular A, that is the whichever data has been available in the 6000, that is going to be supplied to this particular accumulator. So this accumulated data is going to be supplied with the P1. So the data input is going to be given with the help of this particular P1 port. So that data is going to be supplied for all the LEDs which has been available. So the first since the port number 3 is going to be select this particular first LED. So the first LED is going to give the first data of the particular data which we need to display. So again, some delay will be called and adjusting the and we are going to adjust that particular selection pattern. So afterwards we need to select the second LED. So by rotating that particular 7F digit, so we will be selecting the second LED. So this particular program will loop on this particular display upon reducing the R0 uh, R0 to the 0. So so again the particular loop is going to be rotated. So the data whichever we are given from the 6000H, the data are going to be displayed in the 7 segment LED array. Thank you.